There's a story of a man who was stranded on his rooftop during a hurricane. The flood was making the water rise higher and higher, the water now reaching his ankles. The man starts to get nervous, turns to God and says, "God, save me. I'll do anything." So his neighbor all of a sudden comes up with a rowboat and says, "Neighbor, get on my boat. I'll save you. I'll take you to somewhere safe." And the man says, "No, no, no, no. God will save me." So the man turns back to God, and the neighbor goes away. He says, "God, my neighbor has a rowboat. I have nothing. Save me." So suddenly, a search and rescue team comes with a bigger boat, and they give a ladder, they throw out a life preserver, and they say, "Get on the boat. Come on, we'll save you." And the man says, "No, no, no. God will save me." The water now getting and approaching his neck says, "God, save me." Then suddenly a helicopter comes, and they lower the ladder, and they say, "Get on the helicopter. We're here to save you." The man now, with very few options, starting to lose faith in God, still remains faithful and says, "I'm sorry, I don't need your help. God will save me." The water creeps higher and higher. The helicopter flies away, and the man drowns. In heaven, the man goes to God and says, "God, why didn't you save me?" And God says, "I did. I sent you a boat. I sent you a search and rescue team. I sent you a helicopter, and you denied all of them. You didn't see my hand in the help that I was offering." In this parasha in Vayishlach, Jacob is scared. Jacob is about to meet up with his brother Esav, and the last interaction they had quite a few years ago, Esav was going to kill Jacob because Jacob stole his birthright and stole the blessing. Jacob is scared for his life and scared about the interaction, decides to take up every single precaution necessary by sending gifts to Esav, trying to entice him and soften his heart. Then he divides his camp into two groups after he hears that Esav is planning on killing him. He divides his team up into two groups so that if one of them will get killed, the other one will be a refuge. But even above all of these precautions, Jacob is still scared and prays to God. Then a very shocking situation happens, and Jacob has an all-night wrestling match with an angel. Our sages explain that this angel is the Yetzer Hara itself. This is the evil inclination that holds us all back. That is a mental experience where Jacob is battling his past decisions that he made. Even though he knew that he made the decisions that were right at the time, it did leave bad consequences. That's a battle we can all become familiar with. A night before a big presentation, a night before something really exciting, we feel all of these nerves. Who are we to succeed? Who are we to thrive? Who are we? Like, what's going to happen? We're going to fail. That's a voice. That is this same wrestling match that Jacob battled when he battled this angel. But Jacob won. When morning came, the angel blessed him and said, "You are now Israel. You've now made it. You are now clearly, you've now conquered your Yetzer Hara. You've conquered me." And the angel has to run away. What does it mean to conquer his Yetzer Hara? It means that Jacob became at peace with the decisions that he had to make, because he knew that at every moment he made the right decision that he had to make, even though the consequences were really, really negative. That's a peace of mind that we all strive for. And without that peace of mind, we fall into depression, we fall into anxiety, we fall into confusion, we fall into self-doubt. But with certainty that we've done the best we could at every step of the way, and we continue to do the next right thing, that's how we overcome our conscience and prepare to take on our brother. And because of that confidence that he's able to regain, he's able to meet his brother Esav with all his plans in place and give him a big hug. It's a loving and touching moment in the history of the Torah and the history of the Jewish people. So what's the lesson for adventure? The lesson for adventure is that hope alone is not a strategy. Jacob prayed to God, and he tried to conquer his Yetzer Hara, and he did. But he still, even on top of all of that, needed to assemble the troops in two camps and take up every safety precaution. He had to be very careful and articulate with his words, and he had to shower his brother with gifts. All in all, it worked out for his best. But alone, hope would not have been a strategy. So the lesson here for adventure is hope always needs strategy, and strategy always needs hope. Shabbat Shalom.